What's up, guys? So today we had a wonderful discussion. A guy man named Victor Avila. I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. Oh my God, he's like wonderful. So Victor Avila is a retired Border Patrol agent. Wonderful guy. Whew. Man, he gave us on the Republican Network, News Network, man, he gave us a wonderful update on what's going on down there at the southern border. Just a story, man. So now I like to give updates and news, with what exactly is going on as far as we're up here in Missouri. A lot of the reports of what was given today was given as far as what's going on down in Region 2, as we say, or down in what's going on in that southern part of the border, as far as like that met behind me. He did a lot of stuff down in McKinney Airport, where he was, and I was very grateful for a lot of the updates because I haven't had a chance with COVID to get back down there since 2019. And that's like a kick in the for me. But a lot of the stuff that you actually see what's going on down in DC and what's actually going on down at the border, you've got different states initiating different state policies in Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. Take your pick. We've got states encroaching their own articles. They're saying we don't want the federal government in. Okay. But if we've got the federal government making their own policies and they're not implementing the laws that are set down by the federal government, and the federal government trumps state statutes as far as the Constitution, talk about constitutional law, we're going to have a lot of problems when it comes to our border security. At least down there we are. And then when the border security intersects with Louisiana coming up the Mississippi River, as far as the states that it applies to, especially with the hubs going all the way up from Missouri into Illinois, into Michigan and Wisconsin, and then up into Canada. Sorry. We actually have that problem. I speak to my Canadian liaisons that are like me up there, and they have huge problems with this. So what's going on now is we're having a problem where they are abandoning their own children. Now, listen, our laws here in the United States, we have laws that do not allow us to abandon our own children. It's called child abandonment. We're not allowed to do that. We get thrown in jail as American citizens if we abandon our child, if we abuse our children. Oh my God, I don't know how many cases that we've had where CPS, DFS, well, here in Missouri it's DFS, in Florida it's FDFS. I'm sitting there listening to this man today, and he's talking about, this is just 3 weeks ago he was there. 3 weeks, guys, 3 weeks, not 3 years or 3 months, 3 weeks. The adults are abandoning their own children to gain access to this country. Okay? And it's being allowed. Now, this isn't the best part. This is just the beginning. Child endangerment, human trafficking, and smuggling. In Husband County and in Texas, where to Texas to El Paso to Husband County, there's no border wall. None. So they've got SUVs. They're just driving drugs, just coming right on through, right there in El Paso. Now, this is just El Paso, where this is the problem. I'm not talking about the whole United States, guys. Okay? This is a certified bona fide. You guys got to get this book that he wrote. Victor Avila, man. The threat's real, dude. It's $14 million in a day. Okay? I liked how he said, when you think of the cartels nowadays, don't think of it like back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Think of it like the cartels are like Amazon now. They are organized. They just killed 14 people in a weekend. Okay? They make $14 million a day bringing drugs across to El Paso in SUVs. And they don't get stopped. They don't get stopped because they don't care about the police. They don't care about the border security. They don't care about the government. They don't care about your families. They care about their families. They care about their money and their drugs and their trafficking. So in New Mexico, where the border wall is, they're actually jumping over the border wall, and people are falling and they're dying because they're breaking their neck. You're not going to hear this on mainstream news. That's horrible that these people are doing this, because they're coming on a promise that they're going to be let in. When Kamala Harris went down, when she went down to the border, okay, guys, listen to this. She went down to El Paso City. She did not go to the port of entry in El Paso. She did not go to the port of entry. She was in El Paso City at the same time as Victor Avila. She did not go down to the port of entry to actually see what it's like. At the same time she was down there, they had a baby float down in the canal. With its head and its arms cut off. Its head and its arms cut off. They don't care. The federal government has put so many funds into protecting the Rio Grande Valley that the El Paso sector is pretty much empty of Border Patrol. And the cartel influence is pretty dangerous, that they have even told Victor, don't go over certain mountains because they're dangerous. If you go over that mountain, you're going to get shot. Cartel will they'll shoot you. And it's the dangerous males that are jumping the walls, that are trying to get over here and breaking their necks. It's not like normal people doing that. Normal people don't jump walls. They're infiltrating. They've got 14 people that died. It was a fake Facebook post that was set up, he said. And cartels, they don't do that. And the problem is when Biden cut the funding to the Border Patrol, he didn't just cut the funding to the wall. He cut the funding to the lights. fiber optics, the tech. This amazed me. I mean, I can understand if you want to be a brat. I'm going to say brat, and keep doing this Democrat Republican type dance. But I'm sorry, I'm a veteran. When you cut off the lights on the border, not the wall, but the border, when you cut off the fiber optics for us to see our enemy, when you cut off the tech that we use to monitor the activity of our approaching enemy on any border, not just our southern, any border, our oceans, our ports of entry, our Canadian border. We're getting better. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God. So they turned off all the technology, guys. And this was 3 weeks ago. He was down there. Del Rio, Texas, El Verde. So a town of 50,000 was getting 100,000 immigrants in 2 months. So 100,000 each month. So in 2 months, a town of 50,000 now has 200,000 illegal immigrants. And this was the funny, I only wrote 3 countries down because none of these countries that he listed were from Central America. The people that he met when he was down there, Uganda, Sierra Leone, and Colombia. The reason I wrote these down because he had a story that he decided to tell us about this family from Uganda. Now, this family from Uganda, and I'm going to have to post this whole webinar thing that we did. It was a group of about, 8 or 9 of us on this call today. And he was in TSA. He was with this family from Uganda. He went with them the whole way, just to track this. These individuals, this Ugandan family that got smuggled through, came through the border, smuggled through the border at this checkpoint, Del Rio and El Verde. And she told him the whole story. Because he used to do undercover stuff. They went from Del Rio, she said, from Uganda to Del Rio to Dallas. Okay, now listen. Their family was smuggled from Uganda to Del Rio to Dallas with no papers. And they flew on American Airlines with no ID. And they walked up and got on this flight right in front of this guy. So they went from Africa to Central America to Del Rio to Dallas. That was the whole trip. And they're being smuggled in from all over the world. And she was even willing to give up her smuggler to this guy because she thought that he was honestly just asking. Now, I understand that it's really bad all over the world. This is why I do international advocacy and international work groups. We'll just put it that way. And diplomatic relations. Now, what we see here in America is maybe this harsh compared to the violence, not trafficking, but violence and the criminal activity that is going on all over the world. They're trying to bring that back here. Now, do not get me wrong. We are a civilized country and a stature of liberty. Um, Not statue of liberty, but a stature of liberty and democracy. And we are struggling to hold on to that light. President Biden's administration dismantled Operation Talon. Now, that was abolished as soon as Biden got in, which allowed us, as the people who operated with this operation, I'm not saying me, I'm saying us as an entity, U.S. entity, to arrest people who sexual molestate children, molesters, traffickers, pedophiles, all of these types of individuals that have come over our border, tried to come over our border, recross the border, throw them the hell back out. We lock them up. They don't see daylight again. Gone. When you look at the actual numbers, the gotaways, you don't know what a gotaway is? It's like, how many people do we not get the gotaways? Nobody knows those actual numbers. Those actual numbers, just look at it in times 3. So I like how he said that. Times it times 3. That's moo. So if you're going to times it times 3, you're going to look at that we have probably at about 1 million people here inside the country within the past 3 months that have been let in, but they have not been discharged back outside of the United States because only 3,000 of them have been dismantled, have been accessed out, reprocessed out in the past month. The rest have been taken on buses and placed in either sanctuary cities or camps around the United States. Now, there is a action alert, I guess we could say, to get a hold of Governor Abbott in Texas from the Latinos for America, led by Victor Avila. We want to try to push Governor Abbott to try to get some implementation done as far as with this border. Try to get their deputies federalized. It's going to be something kind of hard to push here in the Midwest. I know that some of you know me, some of you don't. Some of you are just now seeing me. There is a new bill coming out. For the past 4 years, we've been pushing awareness for a long time. Awareness. COVID hit us really hard, but networking really was a big boost during this time. I know y'all are probably staring at the blue stripes in my hair. Sorry. We got the blue kicking because we're getting ready for an event in August. We're going to have silver as well to represent the blue and silver for human trafficking. So this is just the first step. I didn't realize how it kind of looked on camera. We are setting goals for this year that implementation is going to be a very big key into our next 5-year push. The Save Our Children Act is going to be in all 50 states this year. We are not just hitting it with 3 to 13 states, all 50. I say 40, I say 50, but it's technically 48. Iowa and Nevada will not be pushing that bill through. Nevada, because they have legal prostitution. Iowa killed it last year. Utah passed it. Utah was the first state to pass it. Here in Missouri, we do have a prime sponsor. and it's Representative Jeff Coleman, and it's HB House Bill 1193. So we do really need to get a Missouri push to get that passed. This is, in my eyes, should be a bipartisan push. There should be no reason why we do not want to save our children from from pornography, from social online predators, because if you don't know, then you really don't know. And if you don't understand that saying of what I just said, then you don't understand that human trafficking and online predators are the new way to find the doorway into your children's life here in America. Our children are spoiled compared to the rest of the world. And human trafficking is not like it is. It's just different all over the world. And you have to know how to break it down from an international level to a domestic level to a state and regional level. And that takes a lot of time, a lot of research, and a lot of knowledge, and no social life. But it's very rewarding at the end of the day. Um, 18 to 20. This is something we learned today too. One of the callers on the meeting. I do want to get this out there too. In Phoenix, we need to kind of watch out because apparently 18 to 25-year-olds are being recruited by the cartels. Y'all, I know y'all keep hearing this word cartels, but you really, really, really got to get that out there. In Phoenix, Arizona, the 18 to 25-year-olds are being recruited to be drug pushers. Now, that's also happening up here in Missouri. Okay, look, we got a lot of kids walking around up here with backpacks on that weren't here before. We got a lot of out of state plates. We know there's, you don't want to call them cartels, you want to call them mafia bosses or whatever up here in Missouri. Same thing. Okay, look, they've been here, they've been around, whatever. It's just, you've got Corridor 19 to Highway 10 in Phoenix is the routes they were saying. Like I said, Region 2, that's their region that they talked about today. Title 42 might go away, it might not. We don't know yet. And if you don't know what Title 42 is, that's COVID. So, you know, um, oh, yeah, it was 3 days ago, I'm sorry, that the infant body was found with no head and no arms in the Rio Grande. So 3 days ago, guys. Um, the aiding and abetting charges that all these people should be getting charged with, they're not getting charged with. They're just getting let into the country. Um, if you, and I really liked how when I asked him the question that I asked him, I said, I realized that you talked about the TSA individual that you questioned got really irate with you. And I just happened to upload all of our DHS materials to our website at nomortears214.com today. So just in case you guys want to go to our resource page, it has all of the educational stuff for law enforcement officers, for nonprofits, for single entities. If you want to put a tip line in, but this is something you do need to know. The HSIs with ICE are still working, but our ICROs have been dismantled. So you can still put a tip into the tip line through DHS, but the EROs, the reason you don't see nothing on there from past 2018 is because the training for the EROs that was dismantled. Unfortunately. So if you want to really look at what we can do to start advocating or activism or even looking into legal policy maneuvers, we need Congress to come together as a team. The Democrats are killing us. They're killing us. They come together as a team. They know how to work as a team. And when I say us, I mean America. Because listen, I was asked to choose a party. I was independent for a long time. And then I realized that if you're going to be independent, you still have to have values. You still have to be liberal, moderate, conservative. If you're going to be labeled, you're going to be labeled. I hate labels. I really do. But I am a moderate conservative. And the reason I say that is simply because I am a survivor consultant. If I were to say that I am straight conservative, I would be lying to you. I have taken 2 oaths in my life. I have taken the Hippocratic Oath, and I have taken the oath to join the military, to preserve and protect the Constitution and to protect the seat of the presidency, not the person in it, and defend this country from foreign and domestic terrorism. And I will uphold that till my dying day. But I am also very strong within my faith, and that is between me and God. So, you have God's law and you have man's law. And I have struggled with that for many, many years. Many years. God has sent me on this path of what do I do? When should I leave? When should I not help? When should I help? And I found myself in some pretty precarious places, precarious situations, and I survived them all. If you want to, I loved how he put this, and I'm gonna put these 3 questions out there because I really liked these 3 questions, and it really boiled down to it was a better 3 questions than I had for myself when I was trying to distinguish between whether I was a Republican or a Democrat. When he asked these 3 questions, he was asking them for the Hispanic community. And I could see why. But the first question he asked was, are you for or against abortion? Me and my sister always had this discussion. Are you for or against abortion? I'm against it unless it's going to kill the mother or unless the mother has been raped or trafficked and she mentally just cannot, has to have that, it has to be terminated because mentally she will kill herself if she's forced to carry that child. And I believe in that being a medical and Hippocratical right for that woman. Why? And this is going to shock you. Because I've been in that situation and I chose to not have the abortion. So I believe every woman should be given the right, whether or not in a forced situation, whether they should carry that child or not. That should not be any man's decision. But other than that, no, I am definitely against it. That's one good way to figure out if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Now, there are a lot of people who have never been in my shoes, definitely never been in my shoes. I haven't even found survivors sometimes that have been through what I've been through. But if you're for abortion, most of the time you're not a Republican. Most of the time you're a Democrat. Second question. I can't do two because my tendons all mixed together because of the injury. Are you pro? Are you for or against family, like unity? I'm talking about like Sunday get-togethers, Christmases, parties, all that. It's Hispanic communities like really get-togethers. Well, then most likely you're a Republican. And then three, do you believe in God or not? That is fundamental. Fundamental to this country. Do you believe in God? I believe in God. Um, I know that my dad believed in God, and I know my mama believes in God. I know my grandma believed in God. I know my Bible's right over there. I was looking up here because I thought it was up here. That's my no, that's my medical encyclopedia and dictionary. And yeah, I was like, thought that was my Bible. No, my Bible's on that one over there, um, with my Mormon one as well. I'm LDS. I was baptized in 1996, but that does not mean that I have not. I have also studied other religions. It's just that one was the one that worked for me. Um, that doesn't mean that I go to church every Sunday. Well, for one, I'm working. I try to not work on Sundays, but I'm also I stay home a lot. So my bishop understands. Um, if you believe in God and these are questions that they're asking people. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know if I would go with these three questions on grassroots campaigns to see if whether I was a Republican or a Democrat. Hispanic community, maybe. I don't know. Um, these are not the questions that I used to ask whether I was a Republican or a Democrat. Because I believe that there's a lot of God fearing Democrats out there. I believe there's a lot of family connection, a lot of families that are Democrats that love each other out there. And that would just be wrong for me to say. So, this is why I have chosen my party. Mm. And about half of you are going to like hate me after this. I looked at the foundations of the political parties. No More Tears and the Aurora Hope Foundation was built on foundations. Why did we all get together 4 or 5 years ago? How did we all meet? We were veterans at first, then some civilians came into it. What did we stand for? Honesty, integrity, and accountability. Okay. No matter how much we got beat down, no matter how broke we were, no matter how much we had to use our own funds, no matter how much nobody wanted to donate to us, no matter how much people lied about us, no matter how much I had to keep people protected in the background from their names not being ousted by the media. Because there's 9 of us, but people don't understand that. That's what it was started with. We have grown to an international corporation and another domestic nonprofit corporation. By doing what we do and being truthful, having accountability, having integrity, and just being loving, honest people and helping people one at a time. And doing lots of research. We were able to go back to the foundings of the political parties and look at what their foundations were. I cannot absolutely cannot attach a nonprofit that stands for honesty, integrity, and accountability and empowerment of youth, of breaking chains, something that I've survived twice. Well, two main big ones in my life. I cannot attach that to a party affiliation that, for one, would not answer my calls, would not answer any of my team members' calls or emails or letters. When we tried to reach out in 16 and 18 and 20. But also, the foundations of the Democratic Party is chains. And unfortunately, I can't do it. So, I made the change from Independent to Republican Party. For one, so the investors and donors would stop worrying which party I was going to choose. And two, I really sat down and I had a long talk with God. And I said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this country? What are we going to do about everybody and what they're doing? Because, sorry, I said, because this isn't going to get better. It's going to get worse. So here I am. I am about 3/4 of the way done with the book. I am now at the part where I am at. I can't show it to you, sorry. I am now at the part where I am adding documents. This is the hardest part for me to do, just so you guys know. This is where I am going through all of the documents and I am transcribing them into the book. So, we have found a new editor and a new bookbinder out of California. And Mr. Christopher Potter is already out there and he's doing wonderful. And we give great condolences to the Wiley family. And I have been, one more announcement, sorry. We have not been given final confirmation on it yet. Just wanted to check my email to make sure I did not have final confirmation, or else I would be giving you the wrong message. No, we do not have final confirmation on it yet, but I have been chosen from the internet. From the ISHR, the International Society for Human Rights Conference Committee, is asking me to attend the International Human Rights Conference on elimination violence against women and children for the human trafficking and child abuse. Now, this is taking place on the 21st to the 24th of July in 2021 in Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States. And also on the 27th to the 30th of July in St. Louis, Senegal, under the sponsorship of the International Society for Human Rights. Now, the delegates, they are asking me to come help represent the United States. They are right now in the process of vetting all of my diplomatic information. So I am asking for prayers and good lucks because this would be a great opportunity for a survivor consultant and leader to step up and be able to represent the United States in these matters after how I did a few months ago online. So now that everything's breaking up and we're able to start traveling again, it's going to be an honor and a pleasure. So we will be starting, if I do get picked, we will be starting a GoFundMe to gather funds for the one thing that we have to pay for, and that is the hotel in St. Louis, Senegal. The ISHR will be paying for everything else, the food, transportation, the meals, airfare, everything stateside, the airfare to go over to Senegal, and transportation there, meals there, everything. They just need us to pay for the actual hotel stay. And they are sponsoring one person or two. So right now we have submitted my information and we are still deciding on whether or not we are going to take a representative along with me. Okay, so that is my update for today, and I thank you all very much for following along. We have finally gotten a partnership working with YouTube where we can do our live videos now, and this is my first one. So I'm very happy to be with you. And I hope that you will subscribe because we will be doing these hopefully bi weekly. Maybe we'll start with that. And we will see you again in a few days. Thank you very much.